Welcome to Strange. Fuck.
Nope, wrong show. Wrong show.
Oh, sorry. No, this is a Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Let's try that again. There's a new thing we have going on. Oh, wait. That's the name. Boom. Ooh, that was loud. Sorry, guys. Welcome to Q Times on their Twitch channel. We are playing a brand new game and a brand new show called Quarter Up.
And then the sound of change dropping. Ching, ching.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a good idea. Hold on, I need to take notes.
Welcome to the pilot episode where we are inevitably going to fuck this up, but we're going to enjoy doing it. And hopefully you will enjoy it as well.
Change dropping sound. I'm taking notes for reals, guys.
I know you are. I know that's the meticulous person you are, and that is why you are the moderator, and Doc and I are going to be fighting this week.
Exactly.
So, before we get into how the game goes and how we will be conducting this entire thing, how about we go through each other's very quickly, our weeks. So, Doc, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I know we all have the thing in common. We went to Long Beach Comic Con this weekend. We had a ton of fun. I took some really cool notes. I'm finally able to restream my own art stuff, and I set up a whole new art site and all that cool stuff.
Yeah.
This UI I designed for Quarter Up.
Whoop, whoop.
It's beautiful.
Free art? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Free art. Let's take advantage of the artist.
Yep, I mean, definitely.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my week. It's only really a Tuesday. Nothing huge going on right now. So, anyway, Indigo, how was your week?
My week was really awesome. Like Doc said, I did Long Beach Comic Con. It's just been working, been going home. I have been playing a massive amount of Hearthstone. And there's some Hearthstone news that comes up, but we will go into that a little bit later. Krug, who is over here, I believe.
Nope, wrong side.
Over
Down. Just point
here?
down.
Yep.
Just point down.
That was good, Indigo,
How
the
was
second
your
one.
week?
New things are scary. It's
My
okay,
week
Andy.
was pretty good. The thing I want to mention about my week is this. We've been doing Strange Tales from Outer Space, the three of us, for about a year now. And we're on episode
It's over a year.
62. Yeah, it's definitely over a year. And we have gotten to a point as a group where we don't get nervous about doing that show at all anymore. Like, it doesn't phase us at all. And then we're sitting in the pre-show for this, and we're all just like kind of awkwardly chatting.
A countdown.
We're watching the countdown on the stream, and we're nervous as shit. So this is revisiting an old place for all of us.
Yeah, it's funny.
which is exciting, and the reason why we even start doing it is because that excitement.
Yeah, it is very exciting.
So basically, Quarter Up came from a place where Indigo was like, dude, we got to really diversify, and we have a ton of fun audience interaction with our fans in STOS and through all the different websites we go through. It's like, we should do like a gaming news website. We talk about gaming news all the time. And I went, yeah, but everyone and their grandma has a gaming news podcast or website. What's a fun way to spice it up? And we realized all we do is bitch and moan and argue.
Hey, guess what we're really good at?
Here's what we're really good at: annoying each other and arguing about stuff because you're wrong. So Quarter Up is basically, if you guys don't know, it's a '90s term that was thrown around a lot in arcades, where if you wanted to play Mortal Kombat, you wanted to play Rampage, you wanted to play Spy Hunter, and someone else is in the way, well, put your quarter up. You're next. So we figured it's a fun little phrase to bring into this discussion / roundtable of this week or every other week's gaming news and views. So what's been basically happened is Krug is in your center bottom screen. He's the moderator for this week. Yeah, it's labeled. And what he's going to help us do is he's going to take player 1 and player 2, Indigo Jones and I, through some of this week's topics that we've kind of curated. And every once in a while, there's going to be a source of contention. And when that happens, we go into our, for lack of a better phrase, a fight mode, where a question is presented to us, and each player is going to pick a side or pick an option. Sometimes it'll be clear cut, this or that. Sometimes it'll be more free for all. Like, what do you think about this? And what is your view on that? Or something like that. From there, they go back and forth. They talk about it. They can poke each other's arguments in their holes. Holes in their arguments. And you'll notice
dirty as shit.
You'll notice there's
I'm
two
not going to
collections.
put any of my arguments into any of your holes, Doc.
So you'll notice below player 1 and player 2, there are 2 rows of coins that say score and chat score. Because in this game, in this role, everyone has an opinion, and of course, you, the chat, does as well. So we're going to argue our case to the moderator, and the moderator is going to get the best argument possible, the strongest argument. He or she shouldn't really play favorites, but who knows? Depends.
He will. I'm just saying.
Totally will. I'm boned.
Indigo did something mean to me at work today.
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding. He didn't,
yes,
he didn't do that.
Doc,
And
Doc
so after that happens,
pee before going on Skype.
That's true, Doc. That made me mad.
anyway, while we continue with the gaming news, there will be a straw poll up for the chat to also throw in their vote. Whoever gets the most vote in that straw poll gets a chat coin.
Correct.
That
And
way,
the straw poll won't be up immediately, but you'll see it spammed in chat by me when it goes up. It'll probably be after the two of them introduce their sides for the first time. Yep. Once we get into the second round of discussion, the straw poll will go up then.
Yep. Cool. And that way chat can decide, maybe player one really did make the better argument. We'll give him an extra coin. Or maybe, I didn't agree with that. He was wrong. I really liked player two's argument better. So the fighters can either play the logic and reason card with the moderator, or you could play to the audience and plead your case to them. And maybe you realize you might not have a stronger argument or something, but you can get by with pure favoritism or any other strategy you can in a discussion.
I'm just saying, not to sway the audience, but Doc just called you all illogical people. So I'm just saying.
He kind of did. That's not wrong.
So this is how we started off.
So with that, now that you have a basic understanding of the rules, we're going to go into the news. And Doc, you are the one that kind of curated this first piece of news. Could you go into it? It's a little bit about Street Fighter V.
Yeah, actually, I really do enjoy the fighting game community. I like watching a lot of the fighting game stuff. I'm not really good at it. I have Mortal Kombat X on my Xbox, and I'll occasionally play something like Skullgirls on my PC. But I'm really, really interested in Street Fighter V. Not only is it going to be a PC and a PS4 crossover, they've been announcing characters left and right. Everyone's seen Charlie, everyone's seen Birdie, everyone's seen Chun-Li and Ryu, sexy shirtless Ryu, the new remodeled Ken, and most recently they've announced two new characters. The first one being Mika. Mika, if you don't know, she came in, I believe, in the alpha phases, and she is a wrestler. So if you ever play Street Fighter 4, you might know El Fuerte, who's more of a luchador. Mika's more of like a high flying, just like straightforward punch you in the face kind of a flashy wrestler. So she's coming in with all these fun aerial arsenals. She actually has a tag team partner for some of her stuff in her V trigger, which her V trigger, if those that don't know in this mechanic for Street Fighter 5, the V trigger is instead of going to be like a super meter or something like that. When you trigger it, it actually allows you to pull off additional moves. Your moves will have additional effects.
Why am I being shushed?
That was for the stream. Guys, keep talking.
Oh.
Anyway, so Mika got introduced, and then personally, I'm really stoked about this new character, Rashid of the Raging Winds, Turbulent Winds, or something like that. So the story behind Rashid, real fast, so we can keep going with other topics, is that Capcom decided they're going to have the Middle Eastern community, or at least the Middle Eastern people, help to design Rashid. They wanted to have a character who was respectful to the culture, who showed off the best of it, and was able to be a badass fighter in the first place. So Rashid was created, and he kind of has this cross of got like a little bit of a Vega, El Fuerte feel. He's super quick, super nimble, tons of dodges, fake out jumps. He can actually summon like whirling dervishes to block either projectiles or flip himself over stuff. He's really good at getting around everything. He's looks like he's going to be a really quick in and out, poke you here and there, and kind of whittle you down kind of
Just
character.
like Doc.
Hey, I have a serious question, Krug.
Yes.
Did Doc say a whole bunch of words that you didn't know what it meant?
Do you? I think I know the specific words you're talking about. Whirling dervish.
No.
Oh.
No. Like, he's naming other characters that I have no idea who the hell they are.
Well,
I'm
that's
just
the
like,
point of
man,
this.
all right.
Introducing you to something you haven't seen before if you're not used to it.
Yeah, well, you definitely did that.
I really wanted to show everybody some of the new characters, Rashid and Mika. I really, really hope we get to I hope to get to play them on the PC, get on the PS4. There was a bit of a stupid controversy. We hate people with Rashid, but we okay, real fast on it. He was released in the Middle Eastern countries and Japan on September 11th, which is just a Friday. Someone on the US or EU side got the footage, put it on YouTube, and of course, being the level-headed, completely unbiased audience that YouTube is, completely accepted Rashid for being a freaking badass-looking character.
I don't think you're telling the truth.
I'm not gonna repeat anything that was said in YouTube or Twitter. It just makes me really sad and angry.
Yeah, and that's completely absurd. And honestly, you showed me the video, and I like my mind didn't go there at all. dude, that guy is pretty cool. I just thought he was cool. Like, the only thing that I thought was the girl wrestler. All I thought was, man, she is beefcake. She's like, blah, like she had some thick ass legs, and I thought more of that than I thought of Rashid. Like the whole time I'm like, and then the only other thing I was like, really, did you really have to butt smash the dude's head in? The video links are.
I mean, I'm not complaining.
Are in chat if you guys want to watch the videos later. But yeah, it's
let's move
so
on
stupid.
to the next bit.
So the next bit is where we start to get into our first point of contention. So this week, one of the developers from Hearthstone actually came out, the lead developer came out and is trying to kind of calm down. He doesn't say that. He's trying to initiate the conversation about what people call power creep. Mm-hmm. Which power creep is considered to be something where something comes out originally and then later over time, the next expansion or the next release, it's slightly stronger than the previous one. And the feeling is that it's just going to get to exponentially proportional sizes, that a single card is going to be way stronger than anything else in the game. And
yeah.
And
the reason they talk about that being a thing, the Hearthstone developer specifically, is because apparently that's how they get people excited for expansions. They want the next set of cards to be powerful so that people want to get them and invest time or money into the game. And that's how they kind of keep people coming back. And if that's their strategy, then eventually they're going to end up with some kind of issue, supposedly.
Like Magic the Gathering.
Supposedly.
Well, and then the next piece of news is actually the newest release of League of Legends. What are they called? They're not called gods. I'm so used to playing series.
Champions.
Oh, champions.
So,
League is like 120 plus champions, and they just released a duo champion called Kindred. That's actually what the duo is called. But individually, they're called Lamb and Wolf. And this is really interesting. If you know MOBAs, this is a character who's created with the jungle in mind, and they're actually a ranged jungle carry. So the idea is not so much they're going to sit there and take a load of damage. They're going to be on the prowl. Lamb and Wolf will constantly be on the prowl, looking for ganks, looking for jungle creeps to secure, and all that kind of stuff. And it's just interesting that you see these kind of characters coming up, especially when you look back at like the older stuff. But I'm getting kind of ahead of myself, and right about here is where our moderator would jump in.
Yeah, and so obviously I think by discussing the news, we can pretty much tell what our first question is going to be for the two of you guys. And that would be, is power creep in games an issue that will negatively affect gameplay, or is it something that communities can work around? So, Indigo, why don't you tell us where you stand first?
So I think that power creep, I should put that in quotations, is either inevitable, and it's not an issue. It's a non-issue, really. And that's all I'm going to say until it's my turn. I'm going to be fair. I'll give Doc his time. So if I'm against it and I think the power creep isn't an issue, clearly that means Doc is with me, right? Same side?
Yeah, sure.
Doc, why don't you correct him on that?
Okay, look, the problem I have with power creep is that it starts to complicate a game. It starts to make it muddy. It can inevitably ruin an experience, and it also invalidates things that come before it. So I'm going to kind of leave it vague there first, because
that was far from vague.
I mean, okay, so I guess I'll just kick this off. Everyone's like, oh no, power creep's going to happen eventually. They're going to say, oh, the Hearthstone cards have to come out, and they have to appeal to new players, and they have to make them stronger and better and new mechanics. The problem with adding in these new mechanics every expansion, adding in these new characters, these new cards every expansion, is that eventually cards from an earlier expansion become obsolete. My main case in Hearthstone is if you're looking at the original vanilla cards compared to goblins versus gnomes, and then all the newest stuff in the Grand Tournament, there's not only distinct gameplay style they want to have, but a lot of these Grand Tournament cards are sneaking their way into decks and meta decks and all this kind of stuff. It's like all this time you spent on this game collecting and disenchanting and turning all those other cards into dust, and the money you spent opening those booster packs to then just become replaced and obsolete is kind of annoying as shit.
Sorry, was that your argument?
Oh my god.
Okay, so that means I won? Okay, perfect. Let's move on then.
Krug, you're supposed to be the one moderating this. Come on, buddy.
Well, you can respond to him. Go ahead.
Oh, well, you have to say it is your turn to... Yeah, like, that's the whole thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you needed our moderator's hand.
Krug should be saying, okay, Doc, it's your turn. Because remember, it's round-based. So
That's fair. Okay, so in the future, when you're done with your point, say something to let me know that you're done so that I can pass it off to the next person. I don't want to guess and cut you off.
Well,
that was kind of my trepidation for doing that. So Indigo, why don't you let us know why Doc is wrong?
First of all, I would really appreciate if he would stop using power creep as a word. It's a forum troll word. Just stop. Okay. It's called excitement. It's called adding to a game. And the thing is that adding to the game, changing the meta of the game helps new players helps new players start, because now they only need to worry about what the new meta is, and it continues to make old players continually be excited and have something to work towards because the meta has changed. Oh, I used to have the strongest deck in the world and now it's not because I have to look at new cards and spend time getting them. Welcome to starting the game fresh. I think it makes a level playing ground across. And as for making old cards obsolete, that's far from true. When Grim Patron was added into Hearthstone, it turned around and made the Warsong, what is her name? The Warsong Commander, which was like no one played that card.
You took notes.
Hell yeah, I took notes. Made the Warsong, what is her name? Commander,
just said that.
An actual viable card. So adding new things to the game turn around and makes old cards that weren't viable when they originally came out now viable. I think that adds so much to the game. So that's my side.
All right, so it sounds like Indigo thinks that a new, fresh meta helps new players get focused in on the meta they need to focus on, and it helps old players have more fun because they have to learn to adapt. And according to Indigo, and correct me if I'm wrong, the only thing it really hurts is lazy players who don't want to adapt, who want to just stay OP for the duration of a game. What do you have to say to that, Doc?
Okay, so if we're talking about this excitement you have to build out, obviously it's inevitable. You have to always bring in something fresh. It's how you keep your player base. It's how you expand your player base. New mechanics are great and fun. If you're talking about going into like the MOBA side of this question and whatnot, the power creep is a real thing. And my case in point is looking at these old champions. You might have a standout like, say, Annie from League of Legends, who has a freaking like 2-second stun and another 2-second stun, and boom, you're locking down somebody forever and a day while they just raise their keyboard up over their heads and say fuck it and walk away. But then you get characters like, say, Caitlyn, who's pretty straightforward. She's a long-range champion, poke, hits a trap that can get someone away from her, has a quick little dash. More recently, they've released a champion called Echo, who seems like a melee time traveler. Really cool concept, except that his passive speeds him up and slows you down. And then his Q slows you down from way the fuck far away. And then his Q is a giant zone that he can give himself a shield and then slow you down, and then allow him to hit you more to slow you down and speed him up again. And then his E allows him to, if I'm not mistaken, dash out of the way and then blink towards you so that he can then slow you down and speed him up again. And his R rewinds everything so he can gain health and do massive damage to you. How is that not a clear example of just major fucking power?
So that is not called power creep. That's called imbalance of your crappy game. That's what that is called.
And that's what the Grim Patron was, right? We're just gonna take this card that seems benign and then completely, that's beyond fucking up. That's beyond like changing the meta. That's fucking up something hard.
First of all, if you look at the top decks in Hearthstone, Grim Patron is far from that deck. Yes, the Grim Patron deck can take out the average player because the average player isn't playing very much. But if you're looking at league levels, like huge, no one's playing a fucking Grim deck.
And if you're looking at league levels, in Dota is an oddball in this case because everyone plays everything. But like League and Smite, they don't go for the characters that they've felt familiar with because, well, I'm just really familiar and good with this characters. A lot of times they do, but more often than not, they're power picks and more recently released champions and gods. Because you know why? Their kits have gone into these stupid insane levels. Like Kepri from Smite has a root that can knock you down from way away, has a revive for some weird reason, has a actual like chain pull. He just yanks you and pulls you to your death. Oh, and he can heal and damage people at the same time.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about MOBAs and we're going to talk about Khepri, yes, Khepri is a cool god. He's actually a good god. The reason why people are playing Khepri is because he's the newest god. It's not because he's OP. In fact, Khepri is kind of a shit god. Yeah, he's got the abilities, but they're not amazing abilities. And then if you look at the newest god, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because you know I'm not going to be able to.
Zhang Tian, I think it is.
Stomach mouth guy. Okay, he's a crap god. He sucks. Like I don't understand how you're gonna say, oh well,
and then that power creep comes back in a way because like, oh wait, we should probably like work on these guys again.
We've got new gods coming out, and they've got to be better than every. No, they don't. It's called balance. It's adding fun to the game.
Let me present the both of you a question.
All right.
Okay. It sounds like we're trying to define the difference between power creep and imbalance in your game, right? And one of them does lead to another. Power creep will eventually lead to imbalance in your game. It's just that, like, imbalance because of shitty design is much more drastic than power creep, which is a slow, subtle process. So, let me ask you this. Would you rather have imbalance in your game, just blatant imbalance in a game like Smite, that can kind of be kept in check?
Bologna.
Let's not talk about Bologna. Bologna is an outlier even when you're talking about OP things. Would you rather have imbalance, just design flaw imbalance, that can be kept in check with a system such as the pick and ban system? Or would you rather have a system that was unchecked and was allowed to experience power creep? If you had to pick one of those two things to be in a game that you enjoy, which one would it be?
I'd rather have the former, to be honest, because once you start getting this unregulated and people are and design teams are just throwing out the new shit with these extra cool options because, we didn't have a character like this before. We didn't bother to really test him or her correctly. Like Kindred doesn't seem as initially as powerful as Echo in her kit-wise, but the way that this character is built can cause some serious issues for snowballing, and they still have issues with Lee Sin, League of Legends. For some goddamn reason, they haven't bothered to check this character who can be a support and essentially a marksman that can dash in and fuck your face up, and then also a tank, and then also super fucking DPS heavy.
I just heard that I'm a whiny baby and I don't know how to play the game is what I just heard. I mean, if this character is so awesome and it's the power creep is getting it, why don't you play that character?
Okay, fair point.
Boom. All right.
But wait, out of 120,
I think
locking myself into one.
I think at this point is the time where Krug should make his decision.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. So after listening,
auditors should stop us before we have to stop ourselves.
I was trying to get a feel for what the timing was. To be honest, it's a pilot. Leave me alone.
No, hey, we're good. Hey, Krug, I'm not yelling at you. I think you're doing a great job.
Oh my god. I'm going to milk this for all it's worth at work, dude. You know it.
We have to really look at the arguments here and not just say, oh, you need to be a whiny baby. There's legit arguments on both sides, and some of them.
Yeah, and I think Krug should make that decision.
Okay, I'll leave it to Krug.
Are you both done kissing my ass with a ferocity I have never seen before?
Yes.
Okay, great. So after listening to the two of you talk, listening to Indigo talk about power creep just being a slow, silly version of imbalance that doesn't really need to be addressed, and listening to Doc say that power creep is essentially the thing that drives communities apart in games, veterans from new players, I'm gonna have to go with Indigo. I really genuinely don't see power creep as an issue that a community can't band together and overcome. The only real issue I see with it, like you said, are people that want to, like you said, Indigo, people that want to stay in the same place at a game without adapting. I don't think in a game that has a meta, like Hearthstone, for example, you're going to have to look up the meta anyways, whether it stays the same or whether it changes over time. A new player is going to have to find it. They're going to find the most recent version because the community is going to be expunging that shit all over the internet. They're going to land where they need to land. And as long as they work at it, they're going to be able to succeed. Now, that is basically the whole issue with the power creep thing. Is it going to prevent people from succeeding at the game and from having fun? And I don't think it will because of that. And so, because of that, my voice is going to crack, and I'm going to give Indigo the first silver coin. Congratulations, Indigo. The very first ever silver coin on Quarter Up.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So as we go into the next bit of news, Krug is actually going to send a straw, what is it called? A straw poll?
A straw poll, yes.
Straw poll out to the audience, and you guys get to vote whether myself or him, myself or Doc, won.
I'm totally voting for myself, by the way.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess I'm voting for myself. I wasn't gonna vote, but I mean. Vote. Anyways, so the next piece of news. Hey, guess what? It's 2-2. Anyways, so the next piece of news is Evolve. Evolve last weekend had a free weekend. So for those of you who never played Evolve when it came out, it's basically most of us. It's a team of 4 humans that are hunting a monster on this strange planet in this strange world, and you get to go out and kill it or track it, or you can actually play as the monster. And while it was really like hyped up and a lot of people loved it, with its release it kind of died out real quickly. We even had a streamer on Q Times that was like, I'm dedicated to play this game, I bought the season pass, blah blah blah, blah. And like
3 weeks later,
yeah, he was kind of like, yeah, I'm done.
Well, I think that has to do with the fact that Evolve won their
Evolve?
pricing. Oh, no.
Wow, that was horrible.
For the low-hanging fruit, yes, but also, man, their DLC issue was ridiculous. $15 for one monster. It's a quarter of the box price.
They were really, really blatant about being money grubbing with that. And honestly, normally I'm the guy that's like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. It's their game. They can be as money grubbing as they want. That's how not communism. That's how capitalism works. And I'm all for them trying to monetize however they want to try to monetize. This was just like offensive. Yeah, it was like offensively expensive. Like, you really think I'm gonna give you this much money for that? Like, no.
Hey, pay $60 and then turn around, and every single season pass we're gonna release us a new character that you could possibly unlock. It was so bad.
Okay. We already know what's wrong with it.
Oh yeah. So this last weekend they were offering, hey guys, if you haven't played the game, please come back this weekend. It's free. You can download it on Xbox One. Come and join us because we're releasing our newest creature, which is the same creature that we had before, except for he's lava.
It's a reskin.
Yeah.
When I die, can I have like a Terminator thumbs up as like I sink slowly into the lava?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a reskin in Smite costs like $1.20 or something like that, and that's if you want to pay for it using real money. You can also choose to pay for that stuff, most of that stuff, with favor, which is the in-game earned currency, not real money currency. I really can't imagine if every skin in Smite was base price $15. I'd never ever buy one. And they're not $15. I've probably spent more than $15 on Smite skins.
Well, and it's because it's the small. It's.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I spent about up to this date about $100 in League getting RP to buy stuff.
Oh man, you could have had so many Waccoms with that, or whatever the fuck it is you buy with your money.
Right? It would been like half a Wacom tablet, but still
half a Wacom tablet.
So, anyways, it's basically a poll. It's they're trying to get people to come back to their game, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to make it. I mean, they need to do some major updates to this game for it to really take any sort of effect for players to really come back. And guys, it's basically a MOBA. Like, it should have been free to play when it came out. It really, really should have been, but it wasn't. And
the sad part is that whole mechanic of like one giant OP monster versus a couple of smaller, weaker players. Great mechanic idea.
Oh, yeah.
That had so much potential. And they just shat it down the toilet.
It was just pretty much an arena match the whole time. But I do agree it was a really cool concept.
Yeah. And I mean, I never played it, so I can't really be that judgmental about how fun it was or wasn't. But I watched it streamed a bunch because one of our streamers, like Inigo said, used to stream it. And it never got boring for me. Like, I thought it was entertaining.
Yeah.
So I really can't see how playing it would be any worse.
Do they have a price decline on, or the price, like a sale on Steam right now?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I own it on Xbox and I played it. I played it a couple times, but like I said, during the launch of it, like, you couldn't connect with your friends and play with your friends in a team. It was miserable. We would get on a team together.
Which is kind of the point of a co-op game.
Exactly. Anyways, enough about that game. The next piece of news.
It is $4 right now, so it's a little cheaper. Anyway.
And the next point of contention, which is YouTube releases YouTube Gaming.
Yeah.
Woo!
So obviously,
Hey!
we've gotten a new streaming service recently, YouTube Gaming. YouTube has had a streaming service enabled on their site for quite some time, but it wasn't gaming focused. It was just more for people to stream events to people that followed them, whether that be like live Q&As or whatever. Sometimes, and since you had the ability to lock these streams down and make them private, people could stream to just people that followed them or just their family, you know, like a wedding or something like that. That was kind of what that was used for. Now YouTube Gaming is like a fully reskinned version of YouTube that is specifically to watch streams, and it's targeted towards gamers just the same way Twitch is. So, kind of leading into our question, what would you say is the better streaming service, YouTube or YouTube Gaming or Twitch? Indigo, or no, Indigo, you started last time. Doc, why don't you start us off this time?
Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna go play the uphill battle here, and I'm going to say that I actually do think that YouTube Gaming is at the moment a really strong competitor to Twitch and possibly a better competitor to Twitch. And mostly because, not mostly, but among other things, simply it's YouTube. And I can go more into that as soon as Indigo's ready.
Fair enough.
So I'm going to go with the old favorite, the house favorite, the one we all love, the one we are currently watching and streaming on, Twitch. So that's where I'm coming from.
Sucking the audience's dick already.
I'm just saying.
Just
even Mr. Peppa in chat's like, Doc, why?
Doc, why?
Because
why
I love going against the odds. I love being the underdog. And actually, before we get into this, who won the straw poll?
So far, the winner is, and this is something that I would
now
say.
The polls are closed.
If we, I can't close the poll. I don't know how to close the poll. I'm not
aware. It is.
It's close to what we're talking about right now.
3-2. 3 for Indigo. 60%.
Correct. Indigo is winning. I think we poll. Should we poll them at the end of the whole stream?
No. You poll at each because each the audience can win, or we can win a gold star from the audience or a gold coin for each fight. So there has to be a straw poll each time.
Okay, so maybe we do. Sorry, this is the pilot version of this.
We
show.
already discussed this beforehand, but still.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we do the introduction for the second topic. Do each person's short answer for the second topic, straw poll, and then move on with the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Possible. Okay, so let's get on with it.
So I'm cool with that.
So, would you like me to go into my argument first, since Doc actually argued first on the last one?
Knock yourself out, bro.
All right. So, I mean, there's going to be 2 points of contention that I have, and I'm going to bring this up. It's going to be very, very easy. YouTube has a strike system, so you have to be in good standing to stream with Twitch, and they can moderate or change your strikes at any time. So if you're streaming and for some reason it thinks that you're playing music in the background that is copywritten music, and again, think, not are, it will actually give you a strike. And if you have multiple strikes, you become no longer in good standing, and they will immediately stop your stream. And this is actually on YouTube's streaming page. The other point that I'm going to bring up, and I have plenty of information on this, YouTube Gaming fully released amazing website, right? Oh, it's released, it's official release. Its streaming service is still in beta. Please explain to me why you can advertise streaming games, and we're officially released in streaming, but our streaming service is still in beta. So those are going to be my main arguments, and I want to hear what you have to say, Doc.
All right, Doc, throw it down.
Oh, well, I think what's going on is right now is Twitch is like, well, we realize that our biggest competitor is on the market, and we should probably go keep up with them, what's it called, backbone-wise. And what is it? I think we're still using Flash or something like that, or Java here at Twitch. And I like Twitch. We're here on Twitch for a reason, and I know I'm going to be playing on the visiting field for YouTube. But right away,
just so you know, Twitch does have an HTML5 player.
It does.
Yes.
But that is also, hey, look at that, in beta, and it's not even rolled out completely. All of YouTube Gaming is, huh? Not wrong, true. It's all in HTML5. Not to mention, YouTube is used to massive amounts of traffic. Twitch has shown time and again that whenever there's a massive thing going on, like remember those really horrible DDoS attacks, the really bad SWAT attack, or even a massive awesome event like MagFest or old PAX, their servers couldn't handle it. And so far, yeah, it's in its infancy and it's all still in beta. YouTube has proven that we haven't had a hitch in service and no one said a damn thing about things going down. On top of that, yes, I did mention PAX and I did mention MagFest and all that kind of stuff, but YouTube's been around forever. That brand recognition means something. And in fact, where was everybody going this year's E3? They weren't going to Twitch because people were having fucking problems left and right with Twitch for E3. Guess who had a really fun YouTube page ready to go for their streams? YouTube Gaming for E3. And everyone's like, dude, just go over to YouTube. Literally, Twitch and Twitter and freaking our own Facebook chat and all sorts of stuff. Like, even myself, I was like, I really don't want to go to YouTube. Then I started going to it more and more. I'm like, this is actually better quality. I can watch it almost everywhere and have little hiccups for it. So what do you got to say about that?
So it sounds like Indigo is upset that YouTube isn't kind of the relaxed uncle of the internet the same way that Twitch is. Twitch just kind of lets you get away with stuff when it comes to your live stream. And when you try to look at your VODs, it gets a little bit strict and slaps you on the wrist, but it doesn't really do anything while you stream. Indigo kind of wants a little bit more freedom than YouTube has to offer. Doc kind of likes YouTube's track record, kind of likes YouTube's infrastructure, the trust that almost every single person on this planet has in Google. That's a huge weight behind YouTube. Is that correct, guys?
Yes.
So, Indigo, what do you have to say about Twitch's infrastructure versus YouTube's infrastructure?
So here, and this is going to go straight for Krug. Krug, do you know if we want to have multiple people streaming on our Twitch channel, you know we have to give them our password to our admin account to allow different users to be able to stream on our YouTube? Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't like that. That's not secure. That's not safe, my friends. I don't like that. And YouTube, while they do have some music and do have a small section, you don't nearly have the plethora of music that you have set up by Twitch. Twitch has been here for way longer. And as for how much Twitch can handle, did you know Twitch actually handles 1 full percentage of the daily internet use? 1%. That's
what happens when you're
more
the
than
old kid on the block.
That's more than any other site. That's
because Twitch has been around for a lot longer than YouTube Gaming. It's easy to have market share in something when you've been around the longest. When you're doing it better, the tides will turn.
So experience. So when you have experience, you know what you're doing. Gotcha. I'm sorry, I totally forgot that when you're a scrub and you don't know how to play anything or do anything.
Whoa, buddy.
You know,
when you're top dog, and then you do what they do better. And when I'm navigating through Twitch, and I've been using Twitch for a long while, I'm still going, why can't I just found out there's a creative side, like not even a few months ago. And obviously YouTube is a much more narrow focus. It's not, they have their own live streaming services for public events and for gaming, but YouTube Gaming is what we're focusing on. If I'm going to search for a game in YouTube Gaming, it's a hell of a lot faster. It's right there on the side of the page. It's going to pop right out to me. It's a lot easier to navigate on mobile. It is, look, yes, they have the market share. Yes, we can do this and that with it because we're older, we're more experienced. But I'm going to be honest, YouTube Gaming, it's just starting up and it's already getting ears and eyes away.
If you legitimately want to come out with something and you're going to try to blow other people out of the water, you do exactly what we're trying to do on this show. Do something different. Don't just try to copy someone because you didn't have enough money to buy them and Amazon bought them instead of us.
Oh.
So I'm mad. I got to create my own.
Hey guys,
Indigo, I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. Indigo, I need you to keep your shirt on during the stream because of Twitch's rules about nudity. Thank you very much. Please continue.
Oh yes, I did have to copy the blueprint from the cool kid in the classroom, but man, people really hate this part of the cool kid. And I might have a few little quirks of my own, but I'm just going to do everything he does better.
Well, I mean, better is a relative term. If by better you mean like way worse, then go for it. I mean, the fact is that midstream, if I'm playing GTA 5, who has the rights of their own music, they went out and bought that, and I stream that game, halfway through the game, I'm going to get cut off. That is a
They're pulling
massive
that music
problem.
anyway when you go to stream. If you try to play anything from GTA San Andreas now, all the copyrighted music is gone. So your argument is null and void. People are going back and streaming that stuff.
GTA, you can go. It's more than just that. You can go to GTA. There is the BioShock franchise. Like YouTube is got, because it's YouTube. And again, I love YouTube. YouTube, I love you, bro. But they are so anal retentive about everything that they would rather strike down your content and hold you back than possibly have to deal with any sort of ramifications. So, let's go and stream. Let's go do something. Oh, guess what? We got in trouble again because someone's...
Twitch isn't much better. At least when you're doing your YouTube streams, you can save the content for later. What Twitch does, what they're doing is like, hey guys, we really actually want to pull the YouTube route, but we know you'd be really mad at us and leave us. So what we're going to do is make sure you have shitty archival videos where you can't hear anything. And, well, go fuck yourself for replays. You want to do a highlight reel? Can't do that anymore because no one knows what you're saying because we actually DMC'd your stuff as well. Fuck, if I go to YouTube, I don't worry about that.
One question for the two of you guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I have one question for each of you. So, Indigo, I want you to answer this question specifically.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, Twitch has been around a long time, and YouTube is trying to come in and take Twitch's market share.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Google has the ability as a company, whether it's by having a better product in their streaming service or whether it's just by sheer throwing money at the problem, whatever the method, to take market share away from Twitch? Or do you think that Twitch is going to hold on to a majority of that market share?
Well, I think that YouTube, as anyone, if anyone comes out on the market, whether it be Hitbox or any other, they're going to take a small portion of that market. I mean, it's what happens when you have multiple markets to go to. They are inevitably going to lose shares. YouTube, because they have much more money than any of the other ones, yeah, they're going to probably take a larger hit out of Twitch. But all that's doing is letting the big dog just keep on coming. It's allowing them to move forward and is pushing them because nothing makes something better than competition. Because they've got that competition, they're able to go out and go, okay, all right, we got YouTube on our ass now. They've got way more money. So what can we do to make either our service or our content better? I know. Let's start hosting esports events. I don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. The fact is that they have been a part of esports and they've been really pushing esports. I haven't really been seeing that support with YouTube. So there you go.
Fair enough. Doc, here's a question for you.
Go for
YouTube, or Google even, is an enormous entity in the world, not just in the United States or in, a specific localization. All across the globe, Google has a presence. And yet they've been known to kind of fuck some things up. And they've been known to take some things away. Like, for example, Google Plus is not a thing anymore. I mean, it exists, but really, is it really a thing still? And we can take a look at things like Google Wave, which was pulled out of existence quite a while ago. It's a product I still miss. If you don't know what it is, look it up. It was great. And a bunch of other services that have come and gone. Just, it seems like it was on their whim. Do you think that YouTube streaming service is going to be one that sticks around, or do you think it's a flash in the pan that's going to disappear?
So YouTube gaming is not their first foray into live streaming services. We've seen it before in the past. They've tried to do live streaming of other events and whatnot, and some have been successful, some have not been. But that's how Google works. With Wave and everything else they've done, with even more recently Google Glass, they'll take an idea, they'll take what people are already doing and then do it better. If it doesn't work to their specifications, which is really high, they have no problem cutting the axe and reiterating on it. That's where we actually got YouTube gaming, from a live streaming service that Google tried out and rolled selectively and occasionally. We didn't even realize it was on half the time, but then when we're doing this wrong, let's go back to the drawing board and make it better. So YouTube gaming, I believe this is their definitive launch. This is the idea, and the product's going to be around for a while, and it's going to be super, super competitive with Twitch. It's not going to be one of those products where they tested it and went, it kind of works. They've already done it. They already learned from that mistake, and here they are going, look, guys, we're here. and everything that they said they're so resistant to updating, because when you're the king of the hill, you don't have to innovate because people are just used to it. You can go to Justin TV Folder, you can go to like Azubu, or you can go to Hitbox. People still go to Twitch, and Twitch finally had to innovate because YouTube Gaming came in and innovated on themselves with that shitty ass streaming service, and they went, "Here's the gauntlet, boom, keep up with us or get lost."
All right. Any closing words from either of you?
Yeah. While YouTube Gaming is in itself its own right, and it should be in existence, and I'm glad that it is, the fact is that as Krug mentioned itself, this isn't a really hard release. This is something where they came out and said, yes, we're releasing this, and then we're turning around and we're still only in our beta format for streaming. You know, the thing is that their streaming service has actually been around way longer than their gaming service, and that they're still in beta, which means that at any time they could just decide to completely get rid of it. And it's a serious issue, and Google has been known to do that. We'll see. Oh, and you also can't play your videos in Germany. I don't know what the hell that is. But
Germany.
No joke. When I was on there today, I was Googling it and I was researching it, and it was like, none of your shit will be shown in Germany. I was like, all right, okay. I don't know why. And I think Moose had an issue where his stuff wasn't being shown in Germany.
Yep.
They don't like YouTube.
Apparently
But that's
not.
my closing statements.
Doc, any last words?
I'm simply gonna say that I like the fact that Google and YouTube have finally said, look, we want a piece of this pie monetarily, but also we're just not gonna slapdash something together. We're gonna work on what we've done and do what we do from Google and make it better, make it easier to use, make it entertaining and appealing. And Twitch, for a long time, people have been having growing issues with Twitch, and they've kind of taken this position of, we'll totally get to it. Okay, yeah, no, you're fuck Google. Oh, god damn it! So now they're really are forced to put out all these new changes to keep up. And I honestly, when you're that afraid of something, they're doing something right. I believe that YouTube Gaming is going to be a platform that's going to be here for a while, and it could potentially be a new leader in the platform.
All right. So here we are at the end. It occurs to me that perhaps we didn't correctly explain what the question was, because as the question is worded currently, it's almost impossible for YouTube to win. Twitch has to take the cake. It's objectively almost the better streaming service currently. But the way I judge value isn't by something the way it is. And I mean, the same way that an investor wouldn't judge the value of something by the way it is currently, more by the value that it could possibly achieve. I want to judge this question that same way. And I look at Google, and I look at the services like Google Wave and Google Glass and stuff like that. Some of them added new things to the markets they were trying to penetrate, and some of them didn't, and they go away because they aren't adopted. I personally think that YouTube in the future is going to be adopted over Twitch. I think that YouTube is going to get a market share from Twitch, whether it's by having a better service or by throwing money at the problem. I think the Google behemoth is going to win. I think they have the motivation to do so. And I think that in the end, YouTube's going to come out on top. So, that having been said, I'm going to give the moderator coin to Doc for this one. And then I'm going to watch the entire Twitch chat disappear.
Yeah, Twitch, we love you. Please don't ban us.
So, we're not talking about communities on either location. We're just talking about the fucking windows that we have to click on. All right, guys, calm down.
So do me a favor. Krug is going to put the straw poll up for voting between Doc or myself again.
There it is.
Krug, if you could actually do me a favor on the straw poll, could you actually make it so people can only vote once?
I did.
Well, I mean,
I'm pretty sure they could.
Yeah, because the audience actually said I can vote twice. So
No, they didn't.
Well, what's done is done.
Hence the reason why Doc even had 2 votes. Anyways.
Shit. I mean, I voted myself twice.
So the next piece of news while you guys are voting for that is the Fallout 4 news. So Fallout 4 came out and released all of their their season pass. These are the content that you're going to see. Join us, get our season pass, and you guys will have tons of content for the next 2 years to come. And then their audience immediately go, that's great and all, but could you tell me what specs I'm going to need on my computer? And their immediate response was, yeah, we don't know.
Not even a minimum spec.
Yeah.
I personally bet, and I'm not a computer science engineer, I bet you'll need a processor.
You're gonna need these newfangled video cards.
Graphics card?
Can I do it integrated?
Probably not. I'm just gonna shoot that down right now, buddy. I don't think so. I don't think that's gonna work.
So while that is kind of weird and obscure, like I don't know. I mean, is this an uncommon thing? Like having your content out and ready to go before you know what your specs are going to be? Like I don't know. I've never made a video game, but as a consumer, I've always, that kind of seems like something from the basics. Like
it seems like they're not ready, right? It seems.
Better with foreign.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Thank you, Miyamoto. Miyamoto came out and discussed some. Well, he didn't really discuss. He nodded and shook his head about some myths within. Sounds down apparently.
It's back up.
Oh, okay, great.
I unplugged my microphone, which is what all of the sound passes through. So I apologize about that, everybody. That was an issue that through 62 episodes of Strange Tales from Outer Space we have not experienced a single time that we just experienced on the first fucking episode of this shit.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Miyamoto came out and he shook his head, nodded his head, discussing some of the myths about Mario. Like, for example, does Mario smash into a box with his head or his fist?
He punches it, right?
He punches it. There is there's like a 1 pixel above. He punches it. So, there's a ton of stuff. It was cute. It was fun. It's advertising for their newest, which is like Mario Maker, which you can make your own worlds. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Mario Maker looks really unique to me.
It's been around for a while, versions of it. Like there was a version in Japan, or a ROM version that was kind of inspired Mario Maker, where it allowed players to create their own levels and whatnot. It was obviously not sanctioned by Nintendo. And at some point, I actually saw a video on this, right around 2000 or so, someone was able to use Mario Paint, the music part of Mario Paint, to time and do music through it. So it was a weird, like, huge phenomenon in Japan, and it kind of makes its way here in America, where they would mimic Mario Paint music to something. Like one guy even did all 4 tracks of Bohemian Rhapsody in Mario Maker Paint with the original song in the background.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's kind of bonkers, and that's kind of where Mario Maker gets its stamp from. Like it took that idea and put the Mario spin on it. There's a few other things like he said that were really kind of cool, where he finally confirmed that Super Mario Bros. 3, I believe it is actually a play. Like legitimately is a play. It's kind of been assumed for years, but he finally came and said it.
The curtain opens, the curtain closes at the very end. All of the blocks and squares are bolted in, and it's like you can go behind the set in certain areas if you bounce, and like you can actually run through the game without fighting anyone. And it's kind of like, oh, he's behind the scenery. But it's kind of cool that these myths have actually been confirmed or denied by the actual maker, and I thought that was really, really cool.
Before we move on, where's my goddamn coin?
I'm so sorry. I kind of got flustered by the fucking microphone issue that I just fucking had.
Well,
there's your coin, sir.
And as Doc gets his coin, and Doc, have you voted for yourself yet on your straw poll?
No, I did not.
Can we make it a rule that you guys don't fucking vote for yourselves?
Well, I thought he voted for himself on this one, so I voted for myself, and Doc hasn't. So I mean, just -1 from me. So it looks like Doc won that one.
It looks like Doc won that one.
4-2.
All right.
I did not think I was going to win that one.
Neither did I. I thought they were going to be against you, but here's your copper coin.
argued better. So it is a tie game.
Yeah.
It is a tie game. This is exciting. So the last piece of news and our next point of contention is the release of the trailer for Pokemon Go.
Yes, and we are not specifically arguing about anything that has anything directly to do with Pokemon Go. But
That's
more,
not true.
But more, listen to the fucking rest of my sentence. That's -1 coin for you. The power feels good.
Minus 50 DKP.
Minus 50 DKP. Yes, we're not talking about anything specific to Pokemon Go. We're more talking about how virtual reality or any kind of concept that basically puts you out in the real world playing a game, how that is going to work when it's targeted at children.
Now let's backpedal a little bit because this is a news show as well, so we should explain what Pokemon Go is for like the 2 people on the rest of the internet who does not know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and do that?
So Pokemon Go is a cell phone app that you're going to be able to get that has a companion wristband that you could also get.
Optional.
It is optional. If you have it, it will just vibrate instead of just giving a notification.
It'll light up.
Yeah, to let you know that there is a Pokemon nearby, and you will open up the app, and it will tell you how far away you are. And
let's be honest. Pokemon's in the real world now, people.
Oh,
I do not know how excited I am for this.
Please move your face away from the camera. That's scaring me.
No, it's so good.
So you will go and travel through the real world to go capture, kill, and faint, and fight other Pokemon trainers, and then there will be group events where multiple people will have to team up together to defeat one super Pokemon.
Like Mewtwo.
Yeah, like Mewtwo was the example that they give in the video.
Yeah. So the reasoning for this is that obviously there's the PokeWatch or whatever, the Pokemon counter. It's going to be optional. That's like essentially DLC.
Yeah.
It'll help you monitor stuff a little more carefully.
It's not really downloadable, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's not additional content that makes the game more entertaining. I think it just makes it easier.
Interestingly enough,
it's like more of an accessory than anything, I think.
Interestingly enough, it's not actually Nintendo that did this app. It was the Pokemon company themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
the creators of Ingress.
Yeah, Ingress and Game Freak.
Yes, and Game Freak, a Pokemon company, and Ingress.
Yeah,
and it is geocaching. It's Pokemon geocaching essentially.
Yep. It is geocaching. That is correct.
So and I am stoked.
And before we start this argument, I would like to say that both Doc and I are excited for this game.
Yes. And before we start this argument, I would like to say that I am in no way excited for this game. Ingress was way better than whatever this game's going to end up being. This is probably Ingress skinned with Pokemon. That's probably what it fucking is.
Wait for everything else in my real life now. Sorry, guys. I just saw a Caterpie. I'm going to catch that. I'll be seeing you.
He's about to get laid. He's like, oh, there's a Butterfree outside.
My phone just alerted me. There's a Staryu somewhere.
He just jumps into the bathtub and starts pretending to swim. Anyways. Fucking, let's get back on track. So
tell us what are
I catch Dratini in Disneyland.
What? Oh my god, that's actually one of my arguments. Anyways, Krug, please.
We're gonna keep going. So Pokemon is obviously a IP that is targeted towards a younger audience, and this game is being developed as a basically way to explore the world. It's easier for companies like Niantic to sell information to Google if they make people wander in places they wouldn't normally go. So they put things in strategic locations so people will go places. And then one of two things happens. One, your phone dies and you get lost. If you're a child and you walk away from home thinking, oh, I can just get back with my phone, then your phone dies and you don't know where the fuck you are. You, sir, are
the moderator and should not be arguing
I'm giving multiple points. then that's potentially an issue. Or, for example, you meet up with other people, and they are not the most wholesome people. That's also an issue. But then you have the...
You're just making this harder for one of us.
Huh?
You're just making this harder for one of us.
Good. And then you have the people, like the Niantic people, who have apparently found some way to get around this, because that was a fairly successful game. And so basically the question is, are there inherent issues with augmented reality games that are targeted at children? So Indigo, why don't you kick us off?
So my side is that I think that it is irresponsible of a game maker to be making a game that is telling children to go walk out into the street to go catch something and get hit by a car possibly. That is my argument. I will stay.
Oh my God, it's raining Sandshrew and Caterpies. Look, there's not really an issue with this. There can potentially be, but inherently there is not. Not with augmented reality games. I mean, they've worked in the past before, unless there's something completely erroneous that happens with Pokemon Go, which I sincerely doubt there will be because it's a Pokemon company and Game Freak working on it. I don't think anything to worry about.
And
it's
for the audience, it's fireworks.
Yeah, these
Doc's
are fireworks.
not-
This is not Doc drumming under the bottom of his desk with his penis.
Well, that was
That's
last
what we
time.
thought it was last time.
and this is why we'll never be syndicated. And that's a
Anyway, so you think it's going to be an issue?
Oh, that's my side. You picked your side. And
I already said it's not.
I think last time I started the argument, so why don't you start this one?
Before we do that, why don't we discuss the poll results for the last question?
Sure.
So it.
We already did that. Doc already.
Yeah,
has
but
the
we.
point.
Well, what if somebody hadn't voted? This was like the cutoff time.
Okay.
But no, everybody voted, so not a huge fucking issue.
So I brought that up for absolutely no reason.
And no reason at all.
Well, I should have checked before I said anything, but I didn't.
Okay, so with augmented reality games, they've been using them for a lot longer than we realize. As far back as when did Donnie Darko come out? I want to do that while I'm looking at that. Like, Donnie Darko had an augmented reality site that allowed people to interact with not only the movie but the website itself. And all it's really doing is it allows people to interact with their media in a new and exciting way. And Pokemon Go is something that we've all been dreaming of for years. And it's not a game solely aimed at children. Yeah, there's a free-to-play app, which is the app itself, but they aren't banking on children buying $30 pieces of hardware. And it's a weird assumption to make that it's going to be a very child-heavy issue with augmented reality, especially Pokemon Go. Mostly because Pokemon's target audience is surprisingly older than you realize. A large part of it. Well,
okay, so that's the
beginning. It's the beginning.
Okay. So there's a couple things to this. Is one, this game is definitely advertised for children. Their main character is a 10-year-old boy training to be Michael Vick. All right, let's just start with that.
All right.
Damn, son.
Okay, so it is a 10-year-old boy or girl, you can choose your sex, that is, his parents don't give a single fuck about them, and they go out into the wilderness to go fight animals and go out. Like, how is that not telling children you should leave your house and go catch Pokemon because your favorite character left his house when he was little? Like, this is clearly advertised for that. And then Doc pointed on something, and usually we're not supposed to talk about the other person's point, but Doc did point out something.
Good.
The game,
Here for Christ's sake.
the game is a free-to-play game as far as we're aware right now, which means that there has to be some sort of monetization, which means, I know, you have to go into Disneyland to be able to get something. So that means they're going to have sponsorships with locations where you can only get specific Pokemon by going into their park or possibly buying a bowl of chili at Wendy's, and you can get Chilimon. I don't know, but there has
not
to be
Digimon.
I hope
Hey,
there's a
you're not just
Chilimon.
awarded with something in Pokemon. You have to actually come out and get it.
Whoa,
And that's
whoa,
part of the.
whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'll let you finish.
So
I don't even need to moderate. Indigo's got his own shit on lock.
So there is going to be some form of monetization. So that means people are going to they're going to be sponsored by Disneyland or going to be sponsored by somewhere else that you're going to have to then pay real life money to go in and play. Pokemon on my phone is what I really want. That's the game I've asked for. I just want to be on the subway car and just play Pokemon. I don't want to have to drive and swerve to get that Pokemon because I need it. I don't want that. I don't need car accidents. I don't need the end of the world to happen. That is my argument.
So basically, you're saying that we're all dumb as fucking box of rocks, and that we're just gonna kill
Not
ourselves.
all of us. Not all of us.
But enough of us.
Just
This is
you.
gonna be something that shouldn't. So yeah, it's really cool that you can go potentially you can go into Disneyland and find like a random rare Dratini through your phone. But think of the fun the aspects they can have with. Sorry, let me try to phrase this right. Yeah, you could probably take the corporate shrill thing and if you go spend money and go to like Knott's Berry Farm or something or Six Flags over whatever state they want to fucking be in for this argument. Well, now you're spending more money and whatnot. But really think about this. Say you're with your family. Say like you're with your fiance. You guys go to San Diego for Comic-Con. You've got Pokemon Go on your apps, and you get a little alert on your phone saying, "Hey guys, there's a special event Pokemon hidden somewhere in San Diego in safe spots because obviously they don't. That's not the point. Is to kill yourself to get a Pokemon, but it's gonna need some help to take down. This thing is a Dragonite, super freaking rare, and all of a sudden you're on an adventure." With not only just yourself, but you're on an adventure with your significant other or your children or your group of friends. And this is something that you don't need to have any other money but the phone you already have on you anyway. So the barrier to entry is super minimal for an experience that we've all been waiting for years. And if you're dumb enough to run out to the railroad tracks to the trolley at San Diego Comic-Con, then that's not Augmented Reality's fault. That's your fault for being a dumb person. The game itself is not the issue.
One second, if you please. It sounds like we're getting into kind of a classic debate. Similarly to the debate between does violence in video games cause violence in children or not, it sounds like you two are kind of having a similar debate. Could that be a good comparison?
First of all, I never ever want to say violence in video games commits any sort of violence in real life.
Well, and that is
dumb people.
That is my next question for you, Indigo. How is it that this is different from that debate?
Well, first of all, I would like to say, even in the ad itself, there's a person that is walking down a shady-ass alley to go catch a Pokemon. You're saying that a kid that is walking home that you feel is safe enough to walk home? I walked home when I was a kid, but if I see, there's a Pokemon, I'm going to go down there. You can't guarantee this is an audience that is going to be worldwide. You can't guarantee that people aren't going to be dumb. And while I don't think you should censor a game because of it, what I am saying is that this isn't the Pokemon game I want. This is not the Pokemon game that we have been promised on our phones. This is a different game because they're afraid to take shares away from handheld games. That's the real problem here. It's that. The fact is that in parts of the world we have texting lanes for when you're walking because you can't pay attention to walking. Yeah,
that's not real.
Yeah, it is.
That's sad.
They actually have those at a college that was near the college that I went to. They divided the sidewalk into lanes so that people that were texting could stay on the correct side of the sidewalk. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so again, this is to show you, if we have texting lanes, someone's going to walk down that shady-ass alley. We're going to have people living in their cell phones more than they're interacting. And you're talking about having family moments. People aren't having family moments playing on their cell phone. People are having family moments by spending time with family. Okay,
so
give
really
me this
quick,
augmented reality.
That's all well and good, and I heard everything you said. Let's go back to the question I asked, which is, how is this specific argument different from the video games causing violence argument, in that if a parent is irresponsible enough to let a game affect a child in that way, it's the parent's fault, not the game's fault?
It's a very similar argument, and it's an odd one because, and I'm going to go right into you and to go, you had this really weird slippery slope here of, won't somebody think of the children? Ingress already works. People already understand how Ingress works, and that's where Pokemon Go is based off of. You're sensationalizing an argument for which I find very odd. I'm not trying to attack you, just the argument you're putting forth.
Well, the difference is with Ingress, it was far from marketed towards children. It was very bland. It was very, very like static. It was like two colors. Like there really wasn't any sort of excitement.
3 colors.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
3 colors.
but Ingress had actually like also predetermined areas that were deemed safe for people. So even though they could go urban exploring, they weren't in any real danger. And if people are already doing urban exploring on their own anyway,
and they're taking that risk in themselves. But having a game that is specifically saying you should go out and explore the world without your parents, and I'm excited for Pokemon, and I'm going to play this game. I'm going to play the shit out of this game. That's not the problem I'm saying. The problem I'm saying is that this is aimed towards kids. This is
So question: what age range are you saying aimed towards kids? Because right now I've got a 5-year-old who's actually bugging me for a phone. I'm like, you're gonna get a phone yeah. That look on your face, Krug, that's exactly what my look on my face was. Exactly, right?
You would be surprised how early kids get phones nowadays.
Yeah,
like, no joke. Like,
yeah, dumb parents.
Very, very, like...
But you see this thing right here? This is my ticket to another way, a separate way of connecting with my daughter, where she finds Pokemon Go, and she's going to find Pokemon Go. She will never even have access to this unless I'm around with her.
And
now,
you are a responsible adult, and we're not talking about you. We're talking about dumbass people. And while the audience does say natural selection, I completely agree with that.
Wow. Q Times does not support these claims in any way.
I think going down this direction.
This direction gets way too far off the game.
Yeah. Like it is a very, very slippery slope, and it does go off. I'm just saying that it's not going to be the game we really want.
And I'm saying that it's a lot of sensationalized worry that we'll also see in the media for coming months, and it's all for naught. It's a game that's going to allow people to honestly, this is a game that's going to get me out of my ass. Get my ass out of this chair more than I already do during the week. If I can go to the gym and then like get an alert on my phone and tells me, hey man, if you got like 10 minutes nearby-ish, there's a level like 35 Sand Slash that doesn't have a trainer. Or if I'm on the way home from the gym, I'm like getting to my car and someone I'm sparring with is like, you want to battle? Yeah.
And Doc swerves out of the way while he
No, I'm not even in my car, and we'll run around and go, let's do the goal, bitch.
So Krug, do you have any questions for us? Or you kind of asked us a question.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, so what's your thoughts?
So I played Ingress when it came out, and I got very, very addicted to that game. I was always, like, any zone around my house was always blue, because I was blue, and I never let anyone get a field around me. Like, nope, this is my area, get the fuck out. And because of that, it did necessitate me to go out at some pretty fucked up hours, which was pretty easy for me at the time because I worked a freelance job. I had very long hours. I got home really late. I would just drive around the block, make sure all my shields were up, my turrets were up, and good times. Then I'd go home and sleep. I think that it's possible for people to get addicted to this game in the exact same way, especially considering the cult following nature of the Pokemon game. However, I don't think necessarily that if this causes an issue that it is the fault of the game by the arguments Indigo made. I think that Doc made some better points about the way that the blame should be placed. I don't think that the game would be responsible. I think it would be the people involved that would be responsible, and that the game should be held completely free of liability because of that. And so, due to those things, I'm going to give Doc the coin.
Bing, 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 bing. More sound effects.
Oops, I put the coin under Indigo.
No!
I put it in the right place now.
This is where we kind of going to wrap up the show. We do have one more question. It's going to be a lighter question, something to kind of ease us off for the night. But Krug is going to put the straw poll up for that for the previous question while we go over. So we actually are going to give away a gigantic key live. Tonight we're just going to give away one. We're just going to give away one gigantic key for the night, but we have a bunch of gigantic keys. So if you don't win one tonight or you're watching this and we decide to go VOD,
at least 8 keys to give away.
Yeah, we've got quite a few keys to give away. Make sure to join us and do this. So go for it, Doc.
So first off, we're not sponsored by Motiga or Smart or Gigantic. We just have all well, actually we can say like getting in trouble. We've all at least at one point in time played Gigantic. Most recently, myself. You can find me in the game.
We're all in the beta. We can say
we're all in the beta. Yeah, we can say that. We can say at least that. And we all really enjoyed the game. And there's information, vague information about these champions or heroes, whatever they're calling them right now.
Careful.
And they all have. I know. I'm walking this tightrope. I'm sure there's a Motiga person in the stream right now watching us. I don't know. So it's basically. From what they've shown us at E3 and what they've shown us at PAX and everything else like that, it's a mix of at least in my terms, a MOBA and a first-person shooter and a third-person action game, where you have a 5-on-5 battle, you're controlling points and all this stuff. And they have these champions you have a set of hotkey skills that have all sorts of really fun abilities. Some of which they've shown on the stream, like Lord Gnosis. He's like a bull minotaur guy. He can chuck spears at you and just like bring down this labyrinth that slows people down, and bleeds them, and just like
I'm
just
listening
bull rush
harder to
and
this
take
than I've listened
somebody
to any other thing we've ever said. Because if he starts, I'm muting the fuck out of you, dude.
Well, the thing is,
I'm talking about everything that's been already shown.
No, I got you. So
all
you're
of
clear
this
so far.
information is on their website.
Yep.
Yes. And I thought, well, Krug has the actual question for us, but I'm really, really enjoying it, and I want to get more people into the beta because then they can kind of test it out for themselves. It's coming to PC and Xbox One. I don't remember when exactly. I think they said early 2016, but I could be completely wrong on it.
Mm-hmm. So, Krug, do you want to give us the question?
Yeah, the question is quite simple. In a game like Motiga, the game Doc just described, what kind of character would you like to see? Pretty open-ended, pretty easy, not very argumentative, just kind of like, give me something cool.
And for the record, we've already stated the game. It's like a 5-on-5 game that has these control points that you can create and upgrade and whatnot. And you have these characters that fight to the death that have all your crazy unique abilities. So there's that.
Yeah, Indigo, hit us up.
So, in a game like Gigante, which is super fun, I kind of want to pull away from that because I'm afraid that I would say something that I'm not supposed to. So I thought about this question a lot today, and I feel that I think the MOBA that I would really love to see that I haven't seen is taking D&D, old school D&D or current Pathfinder characters and actually making that into a MOBA. So being able to
So we're changing the question now.
Well, I think this answers it because it's not.
Yeah, he's answering it on a broader scale, I think.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
okay.
I would like to see characters of the Pathfinder world because each character has a specific lead character. So there's a lead fighter, there's a lead wizard, and I would love to see that. I would love to be able to play the fighter and have the abilities because all of that's already built in there. There's a world, there's a whole thing, and being able to have items as well as branching abilities I think would be really cool. So as a fighter you would be able to build you'd be able to build a sword, a shield, and you'd be able to be tanky, but you could also do you have your 1 2 3 4 abilities, but they have a branching ability tree. So you can go, shield bash or sword swing. And I think it would be really fun to have that kind of immersion. So you have got your items that you have in Smite, but you have your ability trees that you have in other MOBAs. And I think adding that would be really, really fun. And as a D&D and Pathfinder player, I would love to see those characters in action. And it just opens up for the idea of skins. Thousands of skins I could see.
That's true. What about you, Doc?
It feels like you changed the question.
Well, I mean, okay, so if I were to have a specific character, I would love to see the alchemist from Pathfinder in the game. So a character that can heal, throw fireballs, and also drink a potion and be able to change its character from a range character into a melee, like Hulkish-esque creature. So able to throw bombs, and then in its ultimate ability, all of a sudden he's Hulk and he takes part damage. So it's I think that would be fun. Does that answer the question a little bit better for you?
That actually makes more sense. Like I can picture a character like that in Gigantic.
I understood the first part, but Doc.
Yes. So I was trying to make sure that I didn't have to fight on a different ground that I was already been told about.
No.
All right. So I've already put the link in chat and everything else for Gigantic, and we've already been able to play through some of it. They've already shown quite a bit of the characters on E3 and in PAX. So I can already say characters like Voden, HK, and whatnot, not get in trouble for it. And one thing that really stuck out to me was the character Griselma, who is more of a defensive kind of player. And every one of these kind of games is very much like, I want to go out and kill things and just destroy stuff. But then I thought, well, you have a game that also relies on strategy and gaining these powers through point control and being able to control the battlefield. And if I was going to have a character like that in Gigantic, I'd like to have a character that can do something like that. Whereas Griselma has more of a magical touch and is able to have these these like these things within her kit that allow her to do such a thing. They're like four physical entities, and they've shown it in stream and such and whatnot. I would love to have a character that can do the same thing, but on a less tangible, more zone based level. So instead of having an actual physical like point that it's like this is my tether of where I can attack, having the support character be able to construct zones that'll help and hinder and control the battlefield in the same way. And it's very AoE centric kind of character, and it'd be more of like a sci-fi kind of bent character. Like HK kind of has this steampunk sci-fi bent to him in Gigantic, and going with a similar kind of stream where it's a character that is like maybe like essentially using nanites or something, or old little bits and bots to like create a field that'll slow down characters. So say they're coming to capture a point, I just chuck out this like vial that creates this ground full of like nanites that have little claws. Like you see the animations come up and like pinch people's ankles and whatnot. Where he's not so much a powerhouse in the sense of he's doing tons of damage, but he's able to manipulate the battlefield to his liking. Where when he's able to, if he wants to help out his friends and himself, he can lay down and like inject this gel onto the ground that sparks, and whenever he hits inside it, or a friend hits inside it, adds an additional damage that like will dot, or even like a blinding powder that when he drops it and that punch connects and you hit that hit connect, there's like a quick flash on the screen that'll temporarily blind them or something. Obviously, if you're epileptic, it'll suck. But having like a blind powder spark, that would be really, really fun, because you're sitting there trying to like control and get these people locked down, but like blinding powder, and you're sitting there just running circles around them, popping them on the head, and they can't really see where they're going. So I would think he who controls the battlefield controls the battle. That's what I would like.
Very cool.
I like it. So I kind of actually appreciated how you both took different approaches to answering the question. Indigo went more for like a general broad, I want to see this world inside of this game mechanic, because it doesn't exist currently. The D&D world is kind of relegated to turn-based, and there's been a couple of attempts at like a live-action single-player gauntlet style.
There's MMOs out there as well.
Yeah, they're MMOs, but I mean, MMOs in a sense are turn-based just because of the way the fucking action system normally works, except for WildStar and a couple others. Whereas Doc went like with a specific character that he wants to see that he hasn't necessarily seen yet accomplished to the best of his abilities. I liked your descriptions about the abilities that you would use, and it was a lot easier for me to connect with that character because I understood a little more what he was capable of. But Indigo really, really successfully pandered to my recent like.
Oh, the biasness is broken.
Oh no! This first of all, if any question is going to be one where I'm going to be biased, it's going to be this one. This like basically completely non-polarizing question. I've been researching D&D a lot recently, and I think Indigo knows that, and I think he may have picked that because he knows that. I'm not entirely sure.
No, I legitimately I picked it because I was thinking about the question, which the question itself, in a game like Gigantic, like not the actual game Gigantic, what kind of character would you like to see? And when I thought about that, I didn't think of one specific character. I thought of a multitude of characters. I thought about like what do I not see in games? Like with Smite, you've got tons of gods. In League of Legends, you've got a ton of just like steampunky-esque characters and like weird like backgrounds and like just a strange amount of stuff. And in Dota, you get like these weird creature-esque characters and like more like ghoulish. And I was like, what don't I see? And then with Gigantic, it's way more colorful and pretty and cartoony. And I was like, what don't I see? What do I not see? And that's the reason why I went that way, is because I thought, boom, this is something I'm very passionate about and could exist.
Funny enough, that's not the reason you won. You tugged at my D&D heartstrings, and that's what got you the second.
So
I'll give our moderator this. He was biased in the rest of the questions, or unbiased.
I was.
I'm not that upset.
And actually, for the Twitch one, it would have gone a separate way if I had heard a different argument that was in my head, but I didn't hear it. So I just like, all right, fine.
It makes sense. I'm not upset with this one. That was funny.
With that, can we go over the straw poll for the previous
yes,
one?
It looks like for round 3, Indigo won the straw poll. So Indigo's gonna get the last
round 2. Oh yeah, round
3.
Right.
Yeah, round 3.
So you get the fucking this fucking thing is so hard.
Assets this time. Get used to it.
Yep. There we go. All right, so it looks like the score for the day. Are we
wait. Yeah, we should do a straw poll for the last one. The chat's even asking for it.
All right.
Yes, the chat score for this one. So while we wrap up, we can have the chat score for that one and see who came out on top, or if we have a tie.
So, with that, I think we should go over and tell everyone where we can be found.
Actually, before we do that,
okay.
we should explain the plans for Quarter Up.
Yeah,
because it seems like we haven't quite explained it, but it seems like this is going to be the three of us, like over and over and over, STOS 2.0. Not the case. No. It's a gaming news site or gaming news show, but it's going to be, obviously, we have player 1 and player 2 with the names in there. That means we are looking for other competitors and other people who want to talk about gaming news as well. So you'll hear this on the audio, you'll hear this on the video, you'll hear this here in chat. If you are a YouTube streamer, if you are a Twitch streamer, a Hitbox streamer, if you are a personality on a website, gaming website, if you're from a community in a game that has a point of view and wants to, put up or shut up, put the quarter up, hit us up.
Yeah,
because we want to see.
I want to make it clear. I think we're okay with accepting anybody. It's going to be easier for us to take people that have content online because we can take a look and make sure that they'll communicate the right way. Like with STOS, it's a lot easier for the two of us or the three of us to kind of carry someone if they're a little shy. In this format, it's a little more difficult for us to do that. So we kind of ask to do some kind of like pre-screening thing, and we don't know exactly how that's going to look yet because this is the first time I'm bringing this up.
Yeah. Well, and
but that's kind of the mindset. I think we're willing to take anyone, but for this we kind of need to do a little bit more work into it. So
you gotta put your quarter up, guys. You gotta put your quarter up. I'm going in theme, man.
Yeah.
If you want to play the game.
And for the first few episodes, it will be the three of us. So hopefully we don't bore the hell out of you guys. But I mean that's the plan.
And in case you're curious, these scores don't just actually wipe away. We're gonna eventually have a part of QTimes.com that's gonna actually hold rankings.
Should be tonight.
That'll tell you. Should be tonight. It'll be able to tell
if not tomorrow night.
Each combatant that comes on to Quarter Up, how many wins they have, not really losses, because it's kind of you'll be able to infer
how many
points.
Yeah,
points.
so basically it's going to be
episodes.
It's going to be a name, and the name's going to link to social media, like a Twitter account or something, and then next to it there'll just be a number of coins per coin type that a person has achieved.
So you can actually see, this fighter's really good at the cases they make, whereas this fighter's really good at showing the audience what they really desire. And in that way, you can kind of get a rough standings of the combatants that come on and how they show up and play. So you can even kind of do stuff. Might even put like a fun little betting system in the chat and feature. I see that happen in some channels. I brought this up just right now, but there's ideas. Quarter Up is something that we really do have a lot of plans for. We really want to do more of these. I think right now we're trying to figure out how often we're going to do it. It won't be sporadic, but it won't be like every other day or some crap like that.
No. We're gonna figure it out, and we'll come up with you guys once we actually have everything, a time slot which we will start doing this on.
Yeah.
And if you guys like this, share it.
Please
tell your friends on Twitch chats, tell your friends on Twitter, tell your friends on Google Plus, tell your friends on MySpace, tell your friends on Plenty of Fish.
No one uses MySpace. That's a weird place to share.
Yeah, I don't think I really would appreciate people sharing this on Plenty of Fish.
I mean, if you want,
I'm just saying, how fun this would be if we were able to do Quarter Up at like a panel at a convention.
Anyways, Doc,
Con 2016 Quarter Up live.
Before we do giveaways, Doc, if people want to reach you, where can they go?
They can find me, Doc, at DocQT on Twitter. It's probably the best and only way you're going to be able to find me.
Krug, what about you?
You can find me at KrugQT on Twitter. You can email me at, my email address is krug@qtimes.com. That's QUETIMES.com. You can see it at the bottom left of the screen there. Indigo, what about you, my friend?
You can find me on Twitter at IndigoJonesQT, or you can actually email me at indigo@qtimes.com. And if you want to see all three of us,
you can email us at QU@qtimes.com.
Oh, I was going to say hit us up on Twitter at _QTimes.
That too?
Oh, that too?
Yeah, so
both of those things work.
You've got tons of things.
I interrupted you because I thought you were going to give out the STOS email, and then I was like, no! And I jumped into
Actually, speaking of that, if you don't know who we are, it's your first time watching Quarter Up, you're wondering where we three personalities are from, we do a Wildstar podcast called Strange Tales from Outer Space. That's every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Twitch, here on QTimes, actually.
So, I think for the giveaway, I think we do something different. We have 2 people that have been in chat this entire time, talking it up. Why don't we just give 2 away, one for each one?
Down.
I'm
That
absolutely
sounds
down.
fine.
Okay, so guys, just shoot us a message on Twitch, and we will send you your code.
That's Exonics and Mr. Peppa, right?
Yep, Exonic and Mr. Peppa.
Yeah, if you guys don't have a gigantic key, just message us real quickly so we can make sure we have a communication with you guys, and we'll give you both a beta key to get into Smite for PC.
No. Gigantic.
Gigantic.
Sorry.
You said Smite. You silly little pleb. What's wrong with you?
We're both going to be on Xbox One and PC.
So before we go, who got that last coin?
So it looks like.
Because Doc could tie it.
Fuck.
What?
I lost it. Hold on.
Lost.
Get it back. Krug.
I'm looking at it right now. It's 100 to zip in Indigo.
Is it really?
It's 100. Indigo totally
All
won
right.
that. I'm
Wing!
gonna totally.
Indigo is the winner. Ding, 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 ding.
Final score is Indigo 5, Doc 3.
Hold on, Indigo. Stay in that pose. Just gonna take a quick screeny. All right, there we go. Thank you.
A screeny? First of all, could we never call it that ever again?
A screeny. Yeah, it's a screeny.
Anyways, I have dinner. I have been able to smell dinner for the last hour. I'm gonna go eat, but thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Hit us up, and
we'll let you know when the next show is. We'll have a more formal time for it all.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Mwah. Mwah. I don't know how to end this broadcast.
It's the same way you end every other
I
broadcast.
don't. It's not in the same place because this thing updated, and I just don't.
This is the best part about streaming is that we get to.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to click down there and like and subscribe this video. Also, there should be some annotations right below me if you want to see more content just like this. Thanks for watching, guys.